I'm David Trungale, and here's a Mario Golf 64 world record. Now the interesting thing is I've spent a lot more time on the real golf course than playing this game. I played this game a lot in the late 90s and early 2000s. We're in speed mode, and I started recording on the 8th hole because the front nine was looking really solid, so I figured why not bring the tripod and camera out again. And sorry the video quality is not the best, but here we are in the 9th hole. And as I've stated before, I like to come in on an angle from this hole. So luckily there's no wind. Well hit shot there. And I have about 145 yards out. So I'm going to aim a little bit left and do my signature shot where it's low. And I use a little spin to fade it. But because this natural shot is a draw, it goes dead straight, as you can see. So it's going right at the pin. But nothing is given on this hole because it has a dome-shaped green. It's very easy to make mistakes. These are some slippery putts. But right in center cup there, so that was a good birdie. This next hole is really outstanding. Quite honestly, I was not expecting to hit the tee shot I did, even though I coordinated this well, and obviously my aim was great, but there was a little bit of good fortune involved on this. I mean, I knew I could get it close to the green, but I wasn't expecting this to get a great one hop and remain on the green, so I have a great look at eagle here from 21 feet. And slip it in there, so that's a really good score. Eagle 2 on a par 4, I'll take it. Now this tee shot, I am playing this exactly how I wanted to. No misfire there. I wanted to hit it just like that, but I simply misjudged the wind. I thought that 14-mile-per-hour wind would hold the ball more. It didn't. So I rolled through that fairway onto the rough, and at this point, it's impossible to reach the green considering the lie in the wind. So I knew that this was going to come up short. I'm just trying to blast it as close as I can and get up and down for birdie. But as I've stated, this is a very difficult course, and the greens are wacky, so nothing is given here. And as you see, I am left with a putt that's about 26, 27 feet away, and there's a considerable amount of break here, so this is absolutely no give me. And I used the whole cup, but nonetheless, great putt, so it's a birdie 4. This hole is really heavily based on RNG. You would prefer to be into the wind, but this is downwind and more of a crosswind, so this is a very challenging shot. I knew that no matter how well I struck this, I was not going to be able to stay on the green, so this was about as good as I could have done with that wind. And now I'm going to putt from the fairway there, so obviously uphill, and going from the fairway you have to give it a little extra power, so that was a well-judged putt. Now this wind isn't too bad. I'm going to aim to the left and use a little spin here to fade it in addition to the wind, so it should curve. I started to aim it way left, and it's obviously going to curve to the right. And I'm in a pretty prime position here, but I make a mistake. So kind of the same deal. I'm going to aim left, put side spin, and let the wind bring it in, but you can see right there I misfired. So when you misfire on the right side of that red bar, that's a pull, so the ball is going to go left of where you intended. So now I'm off the green at this point. I just have to take my medicine and say, hey, we're just going to get up and down for par, unless I got really fortunate with a chip in, which I did not. And it's not plausible to birdie every single hole on this course. I've had rounds where I shot 18 under where I had about 4 or 5 pars, so it's like I said, a difficult layout. And up until that hole though was all birdies and eagles, so pretty great stuff. And now I start making a couple of minor errors here and there, so this is one of them. And I come up short, so I'm plugged here at 40-60. That's a very difficult lie. Hard to judge distance, and it requires a lot of precision because you have to hit it perfect there or you're going to whiff. So I launched it into the air very nicely, and given the circumstances, that's a great outcome. So 12-footer for birdie. Shouldn't have any problems with that putt. This next hole, I have a great drive here, at least in my mind. I hit it exactly how I wanted to, but the outcome was not as expected. So I needed to add a little more draw spin so that when it bounced, it kicked to the left. Instead, it kind of rolls a little more straight, and as you can see, I'm in the rough, and it's 70-85. So fortunately, I am into the wind, which helps, but this is still a very difficult shot, but a fantastic outcome because it's going right at the pin, and I actually hit the pin here. So leave myself with an 8-footer going uphill for birdie. If I would have missed the pin, I still would have made birdie. I just probably would have had an 8 to 10-footer going back down the hill, but that shouldn't have been a problem. So that was a really good birdie 3 there. Speaking of birdies and good ones, this is another excellent shot. Being 15 miles per hour downwind with a very small green, I played this pretty much textbook. It's going to land right on the front of the fringe, and that's the way that you have to hit it to keep it on that green. If that would have landed in the center of the green or the back, it would have been in the rough. So nice straight downhill putt for a 2. And at this point, I'm actually getting a little bit nervous because I'm 18 under, and I'm in my mind, I start thinking, boy, if I eagle this hole and birdie the next one, I can shoot 21 under and really do something special. But that's a textbook mistake, and that applies to real-world golf. It applies to Mario Golf. It applies to if you're shooting pool or any competitive thing that you're doing. When you start thinking or calculating, your personal best or the score, it's only going to hurt you because you're adding unnecessary pressure. But, what can I say? We all do it. So, as you can see, though, that wasn't a mistake. I purposely wanted to aim left to avoid that bunker, and I have a 17-footer for eagle here. This is a very makeable putt, but I miss it. A lot of people might think, hey, you really rushed that putt, but I'm telling you, my style is to play quick. There's something about playing quick golf in this game that, I don't know, I just play better rounds when I don't overanalyze, and just the rhythm of playing fast works well. But this is probably the most dramatic finish to any world record you will see because this is hilarious what happens here. So a misfire, and this is a push because I missed on the left side of the red line. So that's going to slide it out to the right. Now I have a buried bunker lie. And you're going to laugh when you see what happens here. So total whiff. Pretty funny stuff. And at this point, I have to get up and down here to save par to remain at 19 under. So pretty critical shot here. But again, I'm trying to dismiss the score from my mind and just focus on what I have to do. And that was very well executed because that 75-85 lie is not always easy to judge, but as you can see, it was right on target as well. So I leave myself with a 9-footer for par, and I roll it in. So there you go. That is 19 under in speed mode. The round was done in under 11 minutes, which is pretty good for time, and the lowest verified recorded round ever. So appreciate you watching. And there you go.